there. All right, can you give me a clap real quick? All right, and we are live. Oh,
See,
we're not live, but go whenever you're ready.
See, he does the claps now. I do the claps now.
Oh, yeah?
Last season it was him. You don't remember? He was like,
Yeah, he was ready. Yeah. 3,
Okay.
2, 1.
You know what I'm saying?
Let's go.
Okay, so we good?
You're good to go.
Okay. Como vai and welcome to the episode 42 of the Super P Podcast. It is I, Polo Parata, and my Yeezy Gap mask. Spandexed out. Anyway, I have 2 guests today, as you know. I have a returning guest and a OG legendary guest.
That's right.
We can start off with the OG, Clayton Patterson. You know, how you doing, brother?
I'm fine. How are you?
How you doing? And we have Daniel Cortes.
Chavito.
Chavito!
We here. What's up?
He's back
How's it going, fellas?
After, I think you came last year, right?
Last year. Around this time.
Around this time? So how you guys are doing?
Doing great.
Welcome to the show.
Marvelous.
Glad to have you. So, we'll start with Danny. So, Danny, how have you been? I mean, I know how you've been.
Oh, man.
But tell the people how have you been.
I've been great. I've been blessed. Just been working hard, and you see me out there.
Mm-hmm.
We working. So much beautiful things been going on.
Mm-hmm.
And, yeah, man, just, again, blessed.
Mm-hmm. So, Mr. Clayton.
Yeah, I got to say, I met Danny really the first time. We did a pop-up with Freaky Fridge from Lower East Side.
Mm-hmm.
And this was when the cannon was just being loaded and getting ready to fire.
Mm-hmm.
And that was Danny. He just came off from doing South of Bees, and so he's riding high.
Mm-hmm.
But then he just caught that wave, and ever since then, he's been going.
Mm-hmm.
And, it's been interesting seeing the transition. I'd mentioned to him I'd lived in the same building as Keith Haring. This was years ago.
Right.
But I saw somebody take off. And I see Danny in the same way, and he's really hopping up in that wave and riding it and working hard. And, it's he and his wife, and he's doing great. Makes me feel good. And I get the feeling like there's a lot of good things coming together right now in New York City.
Mm-hmm.
I think we're heading back into one of those golden ages, and we're ready for it.
Mm-hmm.
That's right.
So here we go. And I couldn't, like I say, we got Freaky Fridge and Ed Rivera and Danny and his wife, and we got a crew that's ready to go.
Mm-hmm.
Is going.
Yeah, because I know, they do have some events coming up too, right, Danny?
Always.
Fridge?
They're always doing something.
There's always
No,
something.
not Fridge. Ed, he got stuff with the spot.
Yeah,
coming
there's
up
JPO event
around
coming
Fashion
around.
Fashion Week.
Oh, Fashion Week, yeah, September 8, 9, 10, and 11.
Because you was modeling.
Oh, yeah, I'm my first appearance
on IG.
September 8. Yeah.
I saw you modeling.
I was in L.A.
Thought he was cute.
High Post.
Look at this.
Yeah, Eddie turned his whole place, 209 East 3rd Street, into like a jungle. Because he had these
I remember that.
Converse.
Yeah, I remember that.
And they did an incredible job of turning that whole thing into a total environment. I mean, you helped a lot with that, Danny.
Yeah, I did most of the painting.
Yeah.
But we got Andy, Ed's brothers,
Pito.
Pito, Kel's daughter.
Yeah.
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 Ellie, shout out to High Post.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was crazy.
It was a Barry's event.
Yeah. But I remember I was there. Remember I took you to a show. You went to the show and we stayed for like an hour. You was like, I gotta go back to work. Then we left.
So we could go party.
I think we partied for like 45 minutes. We got a drink.
Yeah.
He met a fan.
Yeah,
he met a fan. Somebody came up to him and was like, Danny, is that Danny Cortes?
Yeah.
Is that you?
I feel awesome when my fans see me out there. Yeah.
Yeah, that's happened a lot.
And then at a Stove God event.
Oh, yeah. Remember? Yeah.
So it could be anywhere from Soho to Bushwick or at a Stove God event. I got fans.
You met the Stove God.
Yeah. Yes. Shout out to you.
Yeah, see.
You made that happen.
I try, you know what I'm saying? So Clayton, talk about your hats, man.
Yeah, starting to bring out the hats again, working with a person by the name of Anthony Pedoni. He's in L.A. He's been digitizing my videos and photographs. I got a lot of them. And so we're trying to get that ready and getting the hats out there. And
Classic.
yeah, started kicking the hats into gear. And, we're hoping to keep it rolling.
Yeah, so how long you been doing the hats?
Well, actually, the hats is an interesting thing because, we were the first people to... We started this in 1986 with my wife, Elsa Renza.
Yeah.
And we were the first people to take embroidery going around the cap, first people to put the different designs on the front peak. And we did the first person to put a label on the outside to brand it.
Right.
And with these ones, for example, she did the hand.
That's my favorite right there.
Yeah, the hand signature. And then we did custom caps. And on a custom cap, somebody would come in, let's say, Matt Dillon made a movie.
Right.
So we'd pick the themes of the movie and, maybe put something on the front. We've done a lot of hats for a lot of, kind of celebrity types and other people. And we could customize a hat to them. So you had basically 6 different possibilities for a design, and then some of them we put underneath. And so let's say somebody was a movie director, so we could put a movie on a camera here. We could put a theme for the music, like we did a Batman. We did a person from a Batman movie. And so we put the Joker and a lot of the different characters going around. And Elsa was very good at drawing and designing, and she got really good at making the cap. So we were really the one that changed the history of the baseball cap. But the art world and the fashion world has all of these sort of hierarchies. So we're still trying to get into the Met or someplace like that, because now after we started, we had people going to like the Metropolitan Opera on the first floor wearing one of our caps. And at that time, this is mid '80s. The only people that wore baseball caps were rednecks and sports people. So we introduced it to a whole other high level of people, and it started showing up everywhere. And so we want to eventually get our props. So if anybody knows anybody out there in the world of Vogue or wherever, we changed that world, baby. And it's really years later where I'm starting to see now where people have that look of the cap. It's taken about over 25 years or more to get some mathematician out there that can figure out the subtract 2002 from 1986, and then you get how many years we've been doing it. But GQ in the 80s called us one of the 2 best baseball caps made in America and like that. So I'm just thrilled. I've gone through a lot of different sort of, I've been on the road for a long time, gone through many highs and lows and things. And I just feel this is a very exciting time, being here with you, being with Danny and Fridge and all these people. I think that we're looking at one of those times again. And so that's kind of really feeling good. It's a good time to bring back the caps. I got a lot of videos that I want to get out, photographs. I want to start this dope bag book. I've collected dope bags with the labels on it, the signatures, the stamps. And, I did a front door book. And it's mostly, if you look at it, like I've taken about 10,000 pictures in front of the door. And in a way, it's really amazing because I probably have like the largest collection of sort of Hispanics in an inner city neighborhood as a collection of people, because I photographed thousands. And it's like I was just showing somebody today in the front door book, I have this guy in there, his name is Blue. Turns out Blue is the son of Blue Boy. So Blue Boy's now out of jail. He did 39 years. But there's a picture in the book, and I have him standing there with his grandson. His grandson's the same age as his father was in the book. Wow. So that's like multi-generation.
Right. That's great.
So now we have in front of the door, we got Blue Boy, we got his son, and then the picture in the book of Blue. And I've also photographed Blue in front of the door. So it's really a multi-generational thing from the Lower East Side. I've got them from kids across the street when they're going to PS20, some grade 1, like Bert. And some of them now have grandkids.
That's crazy.
And so it's really an amazing collection of mostly inner city. For a long time, it was mostly Puerto Rican, then it started switching into Dominican. And so that's basically the crux of that history. And that's a real solid history of an inner city. And I'd like to have somebody sort of discover that and understand it, because it's amazing. And it's different. You watch some kids grew up and they became, computer people. Others became, DJs, music, like the one girl married to a guy and sick of it all. So, and then it's like John Gotti's Neighborhood, because you got these guys when they're like, let's say 12 years old. And then, I've had like one guy came there, photographed him, he went to jail for 25 years, came back, photographed him again. And so, like some of them grew up and became gangsters. But there was an amazing thing, because I used to put 32 pictures in the window, and with the 32 pictures in the window, like I did this book called The Front Door Books, and there's one picture where you see these guys looking in the window. This is like 4 a.m, and so I was just coming home at this time. So I sort of snuck up behind them and boom, the flash went up. Because just prior to that, you could hear, Mira, Mira, Mira. They're all looking in the window. And then I caught them all looking in the window. But a lot of them didn't really have fathers or family or whatever. And so since I was sort of giving them love and respect, there was this connection that got made. And some of these guys, even these really tough guys, come back years later. And it's like you have this really sort of like being an uncle or something. You know, it's like family. And it's one of the greatest blessings in my life is just photographing the inner city in front of my front door. It's really been an amazing thing. So it's we've never photographed you in front of the door, have I?
No, not yet.
No.
I gotta get there.
Gotta get there. We
Gotta
gotta
get
get there. Yeah, absolutely.
Wait, did you have the door on the pop-up?
We had the door at the pop-up. You were there.
I was there, yeah. I got a picture.
You got a picture of the door at the pop-up.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
That door was a big door, but it got so heavy it started pulling off part of the wall like over the years.
You got to see that new image. Too.
That's right. So, yeah, I got to get you in front of the actual door.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I photographed you with the pop-up in front of the door. So, you know, you're close near
Close,
there.
yeah. Almost.
Right. That's
Almost.
right.
Yeah, we had that.
So, anyway, it's really been, that's one of the greatest blessings of my life, photographing all those people. Because there's just a wall that gets broken through when you just take that, like that picture, you know, and it's nice to have made that connection with so many people. And it just expands out. Fridge, actually, the guy we mentioned, Freaky Fridge, he's one of the legendary. He's one of the classics.
Avenue B, the place to be.
Avenue B, the place to be.
Yeah.
What is it? If you're not in the picture, you weren't there. If I can't see you, you weren't there.
I wasn't there.
You wasn't there. Yeah. So Fridge is a classic. And, and here we're once again rolling with Danny and his wife. So, yeah, it's really, we got something going on and we're happy about it.
Yeah.
So keep the faith, people. The struggle never ends, and, you know, shit's starting to happen again. So, you know, get your row, hop in your boat, and just start paddling, baby.
So Danny, what you been working on new? I know you're in LA,
man.
not working, but that's a whole nother story.
Everything from customizing toys to set design.
Yeah, I see you did the Ghostbuster thing.
Oh yeah, that's for Jada Toys.
Yeah.
So, you know, but I give it that Danny Cortes.
And that's what I tell people, because people be like, why don't Danny do like clean stuff?
No, can't.
I'm like, no, that's not his look. I tell people that all the time. It's like an argument. I gotta argue with them.
Yeah,
like,
it
no,
can't be
he
clean.
like it has to be like dirty and
We gotta
dingy.
give it a certain era.
You know what I'm saying? Gruffy. That gruff.
It's street.
Yeah,
It's streets. It was my surroundings.
Yeah,
Like-
it's all
like,
street.
So I tell
It
them
was
that.
normal to me.
I tell them that, and they get mad at me. Like, why can't it be clean?
They don't get it.
You know?
That's-
No, I'm not going to go to the Met and do David, unless you put David out in the street for a while, then you could get the flavor. But it's, New York flavors and it's street.
Yeah, because I could definitely see, Danny's definitely progressing. Because even from when we went to Sotheby's,
Yes.
Oh, man.
you know what I'm saying, from here to now,
Yes.
Even the pop-up.
yeah, you're definitely a different person. You know what I'm saying?
I agree.
I think you're learning, what you got to do and how to handle people and stuff like
I
that.
have no formal art training,
Yeah.
and all this is new to me, and I'm just rolling with it, man. I'm just having a great time, and it couldn't be possible with an awesome partner like Nate 33, Nada.
My sister,
You know,
what
the
up,
sister,
Nada?
Yeah.
So she's
You know what I'm
always
saying?
there, and
No,
keeping me
you got a good
grounded
one.
and,
Listen,
Gotta
she's
take
the
care of
back.
her.
She's the backbone.
yes,
Absolutely.
yes.
I'm glad you got somebody where it's like
I
she
think
can tell you like,
everybody
yo,
that's like,
calm the fuck down.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying? Like,
You need
you
somebody.
need that.
Everybody needs somebody.
You don't need a yes man.
That's right.
You need someone like her.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I was blessed I had Elsa Renza, my wife, but
Yeah.
That's right.
almost 50 years. And if you ever watched the movie Captured by Dan Levin and Ben Solomon and Jennifer, the editor, but in it she says, "We are Clayton." So I was kind of like the big noisy one up front, and she
Right.
was the background, but without her I wouldn't have been anything.
Right.
And it takes two, and so we weren't competitive. So, I was kind of her work of art in a way. But Danny has got the same kind of relationship, and I think that's really great. I mean, if it wasn't for Elsa, it'd been, who knows where I'd be. But having a good partner is really important. Was very important
And
for
they want
me.
the best for you. Yeah.
And they want the best for you, and you want the best for them, and you get the best for each other, and you
enjoy everything.
Absolutely. And, it wasn't all gravy. And not our relationship was
Right.
fine.
Relationship
but,
is
I'd been
peaks and valleys all the time. It's
with
ups and downs.
Yeah,
Ups and downs.
went through the riots, and
Yeah.
the cop shit, and all of that. And she was always behind me, and so it's really important.
Mm-hmm.
So here's one for the women.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
That's
No,
right.
but he's right about that. But Danny, but the thing I do like about it is we have a phenomenal team.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? Everybody pitches
Everybody's
in.
working together.
Everybody does something. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's no egos.
No egos.
That's what I love about the fact that,
Yeah, egos.
you got people around you that really genuinely want you to win. And you know
Of
what I'm saying?
course.
You know what I'm saying? And it's never, it's not, you know what I'm saying? It's not no jealousy.
Nah.
No
Can't
nothing.
be.
It's all love. Like,
It's all love. Everybody's
it's
got
a
one
team.
goal.
yeah,
Everybody's supporting.
yeah.
Everybody makes their contribution.
Yeah.
Everybody does something
That's what I
different.
love about it. Because you
So
don't
we
usually,
all win.
yeah, because you don't usually
That's
get
right.
that. You know what I'm saying? It's
No,
always,
that's hard.
it's hard.
That's hard.
When it's genuine like that, it's just,
Yeah.
it's
And you
phenomenal.
got a nice team that everybody's rooting for you and
Yeah.
everybody just working together. How can we make him bigger than what he is?
Mm-hmm.
And that's just amazing. Because Clayton's always throwing ideas.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, and I remember I went to this talk at NYU. My friend was the director, ran the director series, and they had a thing with George Lucas in this little room. And the thing that was amazing, by this time he'd graduated from, he went to Tisch School of the Arts for Filmmaking, but he had the same crew from when he graduated. They started off, the sound guy, the editing guy, and himself, the director. It's the same people for their whole career. When you think about that, you have that magic group that works. That's when life is its best.
It's like Adam Sandler, right? He keeps the same
Listen,
cast.
if it's not broke,
that's
don't
right.
fix it.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
and if you got the right partnership, stay with it.
Yeah, because you bring these new people in there and
Yeah.
they bring new ideas to stuff that you're like, no, that's not how it goes.
Yeah.
I already got this going. Like,
You water it down.
you know what I'm saying? Then it becomes crazy. Then,
Yeah, absolutely. I've been seeing
So you've been doing this now for a couple of years. You kicked it up to 2 million people. 2 million
yeah,
people.
2 million
is,
views. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a lot of viewers.
dope.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
A
Congratulations.
lot of, hey, how you doing out there? Hey, Eddie, Freddie, Gretty, hey, what? Yeah,
'Cause see-
it's a
'cause
lot
see
of
the-
highs.
the channel is like multimedia. So it's like I cover a lot of things on it. The podcast is an aspect of the show, of the channel. But yeah, I do have a lot of like connections in fashion and music and stuff like that. So it was easy just to bring something to me, and I just use my connections. You know what I'm saying? I just,
Shout out to you, bro. You're doing
You know,
real
absolutely.
good, bro.
You know,
Your
I-
podcast is
Would you say
growing.
most of it's street culture?
yeah. I mean,
Some
but
kind of connection to the street.
I mean, but I do have the corporate connection, but I use that for other stuff, like just trying to like advance him, maybe get a different set of eyes onto his products, or try to get the podcast onto something else, like
But let's say you bring Polo to him as an example. That's bringing them to the street.
yeah.
So that's making
Yeah.
the connection.
Yeah.
Right.
So that's like a bridge.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah,
they
'cause-
want that. They want
Yeah,
They
that.
'cause-
want that, right?
Because, like, for instance, Fashion Week is coming up. I'm trying to take him to a couple of shows, meet a couple of people. You know what I'm saying? Just because I'm telling you, that's how it works. You know what I'm saying?
That's exactly how it works.
You meet him, he meets you. You get his
Right.
card, you get his number. Next thing you know, you can do this for us. You know?
See, the thing that you have is experience.
Yeah.
And walking into a scene, first of all, you're comfortable with it. You're not, weak and going in there,
Mm-hmm.
and you know how to make the connection when you see it.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the things that I've been good at is putting two different things together and making a third thing happen.
Mm-hmm.
And it sounds like you're the same way.
Yeah.
You can see the two different
Yeah.
people. You connect, you make that connection, and boom, something else happens.
Mm-hmm.
Facts.
And that's a skill too.
Yeah, because I know a lot of people from different walks of life.
Yeah.
And basically, I just basically try to introduce his stuff to them. And then, because I mean, they already know me and they already want to do things for me. And it's not like, I'm fine with that. I'm cool. I told you, I'm at the
Right,
point where
right.
I'm good.
But you see, that's where you get to the point where you're suppressing your own ego and you're not trying to put yourself out front.
Yeah. I'm not.
You're trying to make the two things happen. And that's a gift and that's a skill.
Mm-hmm.
And then, you change the world. That changes the world,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, man.
because you never know what comes out of those two different connections. And all of a sudden, a whole new stream has started.
Mhm.
And then you've changed the world.
Right.
And that's a big deal.
I try.
You've changed the world.
That's right.
I try.
You grinding out here.
You know,
We see you.
slowly but surely. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
I do my little things here and there.
Nah, man.
So when are you and Danny gonna do something? I always ask him this.
We thinking about a hat, right?
Yeah, we want maybe a jacket back.
A jacket.
Maybe a jacket, because I've started doing jackets. I'm working with this young fella. His name is Less Fortunate, which can be LES Fortunate
Right.
or Less Fortunate.
Yes.
And he's working with Ed, and it's really, I made this jacket back for him, and it has like an arm and with a hammer and a needle and an 8-ball and a gun, and it's kind of like the history of his life. And it's kind of like West Side Story or something, because I could see where all of those ingredients, like the hammer is like, Arm & Hammer, baking soda, Coke, cooking up crack, that whole sort of thing. And so Doves did my front door. That is a mural. But it's actually all the ingredients of his story. It's not fronting. It's not putting stuff out there. Yeah, it's reality. And it's not just the reality of being what each object is. It's the life he's lived. And he's trying to use rap to take it somewhere else. And so we're hoping that he can take that rap and cross the street with it and get somewhere else, because that's what we're all trying to do.
Right.
He's trying to get off the avenue, and, he'd like to get out there with his rap and things. He's got a young son, wants to turn his life around. And what better way is there to do it than through music? And so all the ingredients of my front door now is sort of symbolic of his story. And so we're trying to, hook that sort of thing together. Actually, we'll keep you posted on this, because you'd be a good guy to be involved.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you would be a very good guy to have involved. And we'll talk about that. So remind me of that later, because, it's important to me, and it's important to him.
Right.
And, his name is Less Fortunate. And, I think things are going to happen. And he's definitely got the skills and the talent, and, he's a nice guy.
Right.
And, all of that.
Yeah, because I think you and Danny should definitely collaborate on something.
Oh, absolutely.
On something.
Got to figure out what.
You know what I'm saying?
Is it a cooler? I don't know.
I got a couple ideas.
He's got some ideas,
I mean, the hat thing is definitely
hat thing is a good one.
Yeah, that's a good
hat
one.
thing was definitely a good one.
Hat one should definitely be something.
Yeah.
Something
Get
to
a
do.
bundle package with the jacket.
Yeah, no, absolutely, and I'm excited about that. And working with really good people, and the idea of the jacket for Danny and the hat is definitely a good one.
Yeah, because you did a collaboration with Supreme too.
I did a collaboration with Supreme and did that. I also did a collaboration with Overthrow Boxing.
Yeah. I saw it online. I was looking up your hats. And I saw the hat.
Yeah, did sort of one of my designs in the front of a boxing glove. And Joey Goodwin, the guy that runs Overthrow, I love Joey. He's like family.
Yeah.
And Power Malau.
That's
and
right.
Overthrow.
That's
and
power.
Yeah, there's Power. And actually, they're doing Why Not Care today. And that's where they've gathered 1,200 packbacks for kids to hand them out. And so he's really community conscious, does a lot of work in Puerto Rico.
They're doing that right now, right?
And they're doing that today.
Yeah.
Well, I should be there.
Well, after here we go
After
straight
here,
there.
we'll go there. So, Overthrow Boxing is good, but that was another collaboration. Was able to get that to Japan. And, it's just keeping these oars in the water and keeping them moving. And, see, that's another ingredient. So you got kind of 209, you got Overthrow Boxing, you got Danny and Fridge does this Avenue B, the place to be. You've got this place. Yeah, this becomes a network. And a network is kind of about, I always look at it as taking shit over. It's like capturing territory.
Absolutely.
It's like when you're a kid, you play games. And it's taking over territory in a positive way. Because if you go in and take over a territory at a certain space and time, that becomes your time, your space. And so you're making a contribution to society, you're making a contribution to the neighborhood, and you're getting people out there. And it's your territory. It's your little slice of the pie. The abstract expressionists had their period, well, we're working on ours.
That's right.
Yeah, because I generally feel that, that's why I try to interview creatives and artists and stuff like that, because you guys' stories connect with a lot of people. You know what I'm saying? I can get, the celebrity and
right,
this and that, but they don't connect with everybody. You know what I'm saying?
They tend to be islands.
Yeah. I mean, if you're on that island, you can connect with it. But for me, it's like if you can get a creative person who started from the gutter, started from the bottom, and this is how I got to here, then maybe you can learn something like, okay, maybe if he can do it, you know what I'm saying?
That's the point.
You know what I'm saying? If he can do it, I can do it.
Anybody can do it.
That's my point. You know, I did this videotape that became known as Tompkins Square Park Police Riot, and he's got an open said, "Little brother's watching Big Brother."
Right.
Well, that kind of changed the history of protest and documenting him, because my message was anybody can do what I did. You know, you don't have to be the big professional. You don't have to have the multi-million-dollar camera. You just have to be there and do it. And the same with my front door pictures. Excuse me.
Yeah.
I had a 1 hour developing place, but they were really good.
Right.
So my message was you can do what I'm doing. Nothing's elitist. You know, I'm not Richard Avedon. I don't need to be working with 12 people. I don't need a big studio. I don't need a 4x5 camera or an 8x10 or whatever. You just have to do it. And that's always been really
Just
my
get it
message.
done.
Just get it done and just do it. Don't look at the obstacles. Find a way to do it. And with the video I did, I mean, you know, it kicked me out there, and it was just really a commercially available camera in 1988. And it's like, you're right. Danny, all of us, we roll deep because, you know, our connection deep in the community. And that's a big outreach to a lot of people.
Yeah, I think you guys inspire people, you know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
We try.
Danny Clayton, you know what I'm saying? When people see you guys and they see like the stuff you're doing and stuff like that, they're like, damn. And when Danny says, like, you know what, I literally started during COVID.
Yes.
Yeah.
And they'd be like, what? I was like, yeah, you started during COVID.
They were like, oh, I could imagine how your work would be if you started 20 years ago. I'm like, no, listen, it would have not been the same.
Yeah, so you're really like a rookie now.
The time was for that time.
You know, and I always tell you this, you haven't done your best work yet.
Not yet.
No, absolutely.
You just, you know, baby stages. This is like the baby period.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Imagine when you get 5, 6 years in, 7 years, bro. You're going to be an expert.
Crazy.
You're going to be doing shit that's going to blow your mind.
Absolutely. And that's the satisfaction I get when I make a piece. And like, let's say I walk in the studio and I see the piece I was working on the night before, and I'm like, holy shit. Like, I did that.
Well, the good thing about
That's
Danny,
the satisfaction.
the good thing about Danny during his baby period is that he's laughing and not crying.
Yeah. Yeah, pretty much.
But I could get pissed off too sometimes, right?
I tell people, yo, here's the secret. Danny's an asshole. They just don't see it. You gotta like really be around him.
It's just
Nada knows what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Get the whole flavor.
You know what I'm saying? I definitely know this.
It's so much going on at one time.
Sometimes my boy get a phone call. He's like, nah, I ain't answering this.
I think we all assholes.
He pressed the button.
We're all assholes.
Yeah, I definitely got my part.
Yeah. But it's not a bad thing, though. You gotta understand. It's not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing being selective when you're trying to get something accomplished.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying?
You got to get it done. There's
because people don't understand that.
But I'll definitely get back to the call. You know what I mean?
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, like if I'm trying to complete, you know, edit something or I'm doing something for a company, this and that, bro, I don't pick up my phone or do anything. I have like, you know, I know you do it too. I just got a list of people who I will pick up the phone for.
Absolutely.
You know, you're one of them.
Absolutely.
But I'm just saying, it's just like, other than that, you know what I'm saying? If it's not life or death, I'm busy. Like, and then people don't understand that.
Real life,
we got to get a
time.
job done.
You know? And Danny's because even when you was doing the stuff barriers, remember?
Yeah.
You was like, yo, I got to do this. You know what I'm saying? He was doing the damn wall. And he just
we went really from a club straight to work.
Razor focus.
That's it.
You know?
You can go party, you can do whatever you got to do, but you got to put the work in.
And Danny just came back from L.A. I'm starting to hook up with a guy called Trevelin. He's in L.A., so we're hoping to get something done through Trevelin. So, you know, it's like throwing a rock into the pond and you just watch the ripples go out and it really starts to happen. And, you know, I'm glad that, you know, Danny went to L.A. He feels the same way about L.A. that I do. For me, it's hard because you got to have the hookup. You got to drive 20 miles over here. I'm more like spontaneous. I like to go out the door and walk over here.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of L.A.
Well, the distance
I used to go out there all the time, but
shout out to LA. I love
it's beautiful.
LA.
Yeah, I love LA, but
it's beautiful to visit.
But the traffic is like,
you know what I'm saying. But
insane.
if you see, I got that New York mentality. I'm like Clayton. Like LA is too slow for me. It's fast, but it's slow for me.
At the same time,
you know, at the same time, I used to always go out there, always meetings and stuff like that.
Yeah, and everything's got to be hooked up.
Yeah. You gotta like know this one. I know that one.
Yeah, that's
the
right.
big gripe I have is the nightlife. 2:30 is done. Kills me.
Have you been to apartment 4B out there?
What happened?
Apartment 4B.
Nah, I haven't been out there.
It's like this gallery, but they turned into a New York City like trap house.
Oh, I know you're talking
90s.
about. You know what? My boy Reggie No has something to do with that.
Amazing.
Yeah, Reggie No.
It took me
But you got to be hooked up.
Yeah, but that's the thing. He's right though. It's
Yeah,
like
yeah.
anytime I went out there, like for instance, shout out my boy Taz Arnold. You know, he used to do a lot of stuff with Kanye and designer, all this and that. But every time he used to come, I used to come, hit Taz up. We'd go to fucking Mario's, it's a Peruvian spot. He took me over there. Welcome to New York, pirate. You know what I'm saying? So like he's right though. You gotta have the right
it's got to be hooked up.
connections, know the right people. Or you just go there and just be boring for 5 days. You know what I'm saying? Like
I try to hit everywhere, man. I try to go all over LA.
Well, you was well connected from what I
But
see.
yeah, you were definitely well connected.
He was well connected. You know what I'm
I
saying?
have a friend Teddy that's out
Shout
there.
out to the collective. Thank you.
My boy was riding the wave out there.
We were riding.
You know what I'm saying?
Shout out to LA, man.
So Teddy's out there pushing. Do you know New York Nico?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's out there pushing New York Nico. Nico now, New York Nico is starting to make his steps, and Teddy's helping produce a lot of that. But see, that's another one of this same sort of generation, because I was kind of an inspiration to him early on, and so I saw him start from the ground up. And he's another example of this moment of time where somebody else in New York is getting it out there. So, you know, Teddy, New York Nico, all of these people, it's all moving.
Shout out to New York Nico, man.
You know, there's a few years when things weren't moving.
Right.
You know, I remember there's been some dusty years where nothing happened for a few years. And I think right now, when you just start looking around the landscape, and, you know, these people are all our friends. And
There's
it's
so much talent.
Yeah, there's so much talent. And it's coming together.
Nico is discovering that and showing the world. Like, New York City has a lot of talent on it.
Yeah,
So
he had some of them at the MLB show, remember?
MLB,
When we went to MLB, they was all there.
Yeah.
Nico, I saw Nico there.
Yeah, he was chilling.
Yeah.
So I think it's a good time to get busy.
Oh, yeah.
And stay busy, and just, you know, don't get depressed. Get your thing going, move it, get out, keep working, don't stop, never not working. You know, that's the deal. And having good people around you. And,
Right.
you know, I think we're all blessed right now to be surrounded by good people.
Are you gonna do any more pop-ups, Clayton? Because I know you did a pop-up recently, like a couple weeks ago with Privilege.
Yeah, I was talking to a place. There's a place called Lambs on Orchard Street. Talking about doing a little thing with them. And there's another guy. It's called Village or something. It's on 3rd Street, and looking at doing a little pop-up there. And I like doing the little pop-ups. Did a little pop-up with Privilege. That was nice.
Yeah.
Because, you know, it spreads it around. You go there. It's a short time, but it's an intense time, and you make something happen, and it's great. And so, you know, the Privilege thing was good, and the Lambs thing will be great, and the Village on East 3rd Street will be good. And so, just trying to keep on circulating. You know, I mean, you know, I don't want to say I'm slowing down, but I'm slowing down to what I used to do. So it's not that I'm more selective, but I'm you know, staying in the game, keeping it moving. You know, always feeling like I never got there, so I'm always pushing to get there.
Right.
And it's just really about keeping the ball rolling forward.
Yeah.
You know, don't drink, don't smoke weed. You know, I kind of gave a lot of that stuff up, and you know, my wife has dementia, so I got to kind of keep her end of the thing up, and so it's just trying to keep both of us in the not the rear view mirror, the front window.
Yeah, the front window. You got to stay in the
right.
front window.
Not into the rear view mirror.
No, we don't need the rear view.
Not looking backwards, looking forward.
We ain't looking back.
No. So, you know, still, like people say that to me. Say, Clayton, you're acting like you've never done anything. And I feel like I haven't. So, you know, I'm still interested in kicking
That's your
that
passion,
ball.
that's why.
It is my passion. It absolutely, and thank God I still got it. It keeps me wanting to work.
Because that's motivation.
Yeah.
In his mind, he feels he hasn't accomplished anything.
When you accomplish something,
that's right.
I just be like, what's next?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's good to be. That's good. Because then he'll have that.
That's the key.
He'll have that drive to keep on going.
Yeah, I'm not pretending like I've already gotten there.
Yeah. You know.
Pretending like over there is over there.
Yeah.
So that's where we're at.
Yeah, I think Danny's the same way, kind of, because
Yeah,
he like finishes a project and he moves on. He's like,
That's it. Next.
he just moves on
Yeah,
literally,
next.
like it didn't exist. you know.
And you're
Exactly.
right. It's interesting to see how much he's really expanded.
Mm-hmm.
Because he really has. I mean, the difference between that pop-up. How long ago was that pop-up with Fridge?
That was last winter now.
March.
Was it March?
'Cause my first solo show was February. That was like
So almost 6
was
months
it
ago.
after Sotheby's or before Sotheby's?
It was
It was
before.
after. Was
Before.
It was before, yeah.
So it was my first solo show, then Fridge pop up, then with
Right.
right.
Yeah, no, it's...
So it was like March, somewhere in March.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that's like half a year ago. I mean, you've been running fast in this last half year. It's...
I mean, do you even feel it?
Sometimes,
Do you even feel it?
sometimes, but it's just like I don't want to know sometimes.
Right.
If you didn't have this going on, you'd right now be pooped out at home and tired
Oh,
because you were
absolutely.
out all night.
Right.
But with the energy and the stuff going
You gotta
on,
get it done.
and it gets you going. So you're lit up like a firecracker.
Right. Now sometimes I just be like, all the tensions when I walk outside and I take pictures with fans and I'm like,
And he had a birthday
Well,
party that
yeah,
was totally
really?
nuts. His wife
Oh yeah.
I
birthday
try not to
party was
feel
crazy.
it, though.
Yeah, the birthday party was crazy.
oh man, shout out to again
Yeah, one more time.
Nada
Nada
for
did it.
throwing the best surprise party of
Yep.
my life. I still think about it right now.
I remember the whole formation of all that thing
Yeah.
before it came into
I
being.
knew there was something brewing,
Me and Nada was talking.
but that was the last place I thought it was.
Nada, you remember? This is a true story. Me and Nada was talking, and who
Scheming.
Who mentioned to you about the studio?
No, I called you friend. I was like, but I thought you think he still keep his word.
Yeah, because
He's
he.
like, yeah, you better.
Yeah, because he was like, cause no, he's a good. What's that dude's name?
Jim?
Jim
Studio
Mascarella.
111.
Nah, Jim's a good dude. And,
Awesome
I was like, Jim
Definitely.
really is fond of Danny.
Yeah.
So why don't we do the party there?
And he
was,
made that connection too.
Yeah, I know from the
Yeah.
beginning. Yeah,
Right, I
from the
made that
beginning.
connection. Yeah, Studio 111, Brooklyn.
Brooklyn, Greenpoint. Shout out to Jim.
Yep.
Yeah,
Studio
shout out to
111.
Jim, 111, and looking at doing something with less fortunate there. So
Yes.
trying to set up like a studio thing.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, Jim's in the mix,
Yep.
and he's also totally professional. Just like you're totally professional, he's totally professional. So we're really lucky to have Jim in the mix.
Yeah, and I
Jim
think it was
Mascarella.
awesome that he allowed Nada to do that because it was. I mean, that's a
Yeah.
nice space.
It's
Yeah,
an
beautiful.
awesome place, like a rooftop, beautiful
Yeah.
view,
Yeah,
huge.
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
And that's the way we did the show, and
With Patty
Patty Astor.
Astor. Yeah.
Yeah, the show at Jim's, the art show. So now you got to get this guy
There's a
Danny.
lot of
Danny's
dope
like
artists.
the shit. Yeah, well,
Yeah, that my pieces next to Keith Haring. I was like, what?
yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, man.
That was just like, okay, surreal. Like, word? Okay. I met some cool artists that day too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think didn't you meet the dude who was at the matter of fact, you was at him at the barbershop. The dude that did the
Mike Saviello.
yeah, did the Biggie stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. My friend Leo
It was
knows
me.
him, yeah.
In the same room, it was Mike Saviello, me, and Keith Haring.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he did the Biggie.
Yeah,
the one
so
else.
dope.
Yeah.
His story's amazing.
Yeah.
We gotta get him here.
Yeah. He is.
Part of it too. Mike was part of the surprise.
Yeah.
He was all in it.
Yeah.
Because I had the interview. I had a meeting. And
Oh my gosh.
finally, what was it? Friday, we had the real meeting because she came with the surprise.
Gee.
But you see how driven I am is that it's my birthday.
Mm-hmm.
I said, let me go kill this meeting, 15 minutes, and I'll go to dinner.
Right.
But it was a
You know,
surprise party.
Another thing I want to do, which I'd like to do,
Right.
I'd like to find somebody that could write. I introduced him to a guy called Mark Jacobson. Mark Jacobson did the story that turned into American Gangster. But Blue Boy, he's out after 39 years. He's the guy that killed Larry Davis in jail. That's a long, complicated story, which I won't get into now, and it's different than what most people think. But he would make an amazing book. And I really, I'd like to see a movie made of him, of course, but I want to see a book. And the reason that I want to see a book is that he's famous, especially in the New York State's prison system. And people in jail can read books. And he has a lot of strategies. Like, we all have met a lot of people that have been to jail. But he has a lot of thinking about how, knife fights, shank fighting in jail is, the strategy to setting it up. How do you make a shank? What kind of materials you use? How if you go on the cement, you rub it straight up and down, you get it razor sharp. If you go sideways, you get serrated. I mean, he has all this, he's read a lot of war books and things. So it's a person who's highly intelligent, has an amazing point of view, but also is a teacher. And, talks about survival in jail and things like that. And, a neighborhood like the Lower East Side, it might sound like you wouldn't want it in your local high school, but it's the kind of knowledge that a lot of people should have. I mean, when Cuomo the Elder got into power, see, when you live in a neighborhood like the Lower East Side, which was a drug neighborhood, which it really was, and then you realize, well, a part of the business in the neighborhood is selling drugs. And the other reality is a lot of people that are in the business of selling drugs are good people. They just happen to be that's the business.
Life, yeah.
That's the life. And so when Cuomo the Elder got into power and upstate New York was dying, all of a sudden, and these guys didn't bring the drugs into the neighborhood. I mean, there's a lot of people in government and other people that got in the way of bringing it there. And then all of a sudden, he tripled the numbers of jails in upstate New York. And guess who's in it? All of my neighbors.
Right.
And so you realize that, and I've known a lot of white people that did a lot of drugs and sold a lot of drugs. In reality, it's the black and Hispanics that fill the jails. And so you realize, especially living in a neighborhood like that, how racist that system really is, and it is. And you also realize how easy it is to get into that business because it's just a business. And all of a sudden, it just alters people's lives, and it, it's not a good thing, but you understand how and why it happens and how people end up there. And most of them basically are just good people.
Absolutely.
Maybe 1% of the population are like real bad guys, but the rest of those people are basically, just good people that got caught up in what was a bad thing, and you got pushed into a government system, which is the industrial prison complex, and they just became the jobs for the rednecks upstate.
Or you might signed a couple of applications and you got rejected.
Yeah.
From a job, and there's no other option. Like, I'm gonna move this pack right now.
Yeah.
Just for that. Like that would sound like a.
Or you're steering.
Job.
So, hey, you want a new pair of sneakers. You got nothing, no way to make it. You can't get the money. So the guy says to you, could be your cousin, your friend, the kid in the building, well, just steer. When somebody comes in and says, hey, where can I buy this? You say, oh, go over there. Boom, they got you. Or you take one day and you say, okay, I'm just going to sell a bundle today, got to get some money, get some sneakers, get some stuff for school. And all of a sudden, bingo, you got it.
Yeah.
And this crack thing, which was insane. I mean, giving out, lifetime sentences for somebody turning baking soda and Coke into crack. I mean, what's that about? I mean, that was such a government scam. It's just unbelievable. And then the Rockefeller laws. I mean, I saw a lot of good people go away for a long time just because of, Rockefeller. Now, how many Rockefeller kids do Coke? I mean, you want to buy Coke and you want to get Coke and heroin, go to Harvard and go to Yale. I guarantee you can find it. But you're not going to find those people going to jail. So, even that TV star that was doing, everything wrong with the blood of the tiger. What was his name? I don't know, his famous movie star anyway. He was able to get arrested, get caught with all kinds of coke and hookers and everything else, and he has to stay in a house. Charlie Sheen.
There you go.
It's like, how does that work? If there was 1/10 of that from a kid in the neighborhood, he would have had 25 years.
Oh, absolutely.
Charlie Sheen's in and out like a yo-yo. And the one difference that I would say why it was better for the neighborhood people, because you'd see them when they get out of jail, and they'd be all buffed up. So the guy gets 2 years, he comes out and he's healthy. All these white guys, they just go down the toilet. They get worse and worse and worse because they don't go to jail and get, like rehab. So a lot of them I've seen, like Richard Hamilton, man, he should have done some time because, the famous shadow artist. There's a movie out called Shadow Man. I've got some footage in that. Of this friend of mine, Ann Hanavan, actually, she wants to do a book on Richard Hamilton. Ann Hanavan was like a hooker on Christie Street, which was like one of the most darkest, dangerous strolls in the city. And so she came out of it and owns who she is and what she did. Helps a lot of people in NA, and she's really an important person. She's a big part of my life. And she's doing a story for Apartamento, and she's doing it on me. And so she's, I've been finding all these Richard Hamilton pictures, and I'm hoping that she can do a story, because she came out of that mix from one of the darkest places possible. I mean, she was a shooter, and she was a blood person, so she like in and out, blood everywhere, and doing the hooking thing on the street. And to come out of that and to get healthy and to be like a symbol to all these other people, the most desperate of junkies.
Inspiration.
Yeah, it's inspirational. It's really amazing. I love Anne. And, I want to do projects with her. And so I've seen the other side of that, where people come out of it and do well and own who they were and what they've done. And that's very inspirational for me. And, so I've seen all sides of that world. And, it changed my view a lot on the world. I've come from Western Canada. You'd think all these people doing heroin, But when it gets to be part of living in a neighborhood where it's part of the life and you get to learn about it, you see you get to see the people and the reality of it. And I've learned so many things living on the Lower East Side, basically, in the inner city. I mean, where we lived, first night there, looking out the window, somebody got shot across the street. But see, and I was making it in Soho. I was, getting a career thing going. Richard Brown Baker was buying my work. I just hated that world. I just didn't like it. It was all about one person comparing themselves to the other person, and you shouldn't talk to that guy because he's going to get, I wasn't into that whole thing. And coming to the Lower East Side, I traded a career for an adventure. And I think I've lived the American dream because I've had one hell of an adventure.
That's right.
It's like going to the goddamn South Pole.
You gotta see that DVD, guys.
Yeah, it's like going to the Belgium Congo or something. My adventure is what a lot of people wouldn't want to have. But for me, it was gravy. I mean, I saw some crazy shit in my life, And, it's good with the video camera. If you look at people that have documented police brutality with cameras, almost all of those people disappear. Like, you don't know who did Rodney King, George Floyd, that person kind of disappeared. I stayed front row for those full 4 years. Because if you watch the movie Captured by Levin and Solomon, it's like, it was my time.
Right.
And I don't know why that was, but it was like my time. And actually, some people that sort of copied my style, Ai Weiwei caught my style. First picture, first of all, he got in the New York Times. I came out of court. You couldn't take any protest stuff to court. You couldn't do anything like that. So I wrote in my hands, "Dump Koch." So I came out of the courtroom and I held my hands up like this, and it said "Dump Koch" on the hands, which was great. And that was the first picture he got in the New York Times. Wow. And I was Ai Weiwei, and he went on and became a really famous photographer. But the thing that he copped was, I got really good at being aggressive with the camera, like going right up, because it's a little handheld camera. So I'd go right up to cops and start questioning him like this. And, in the end, I got, beaten up, knocked unconscious, had some teeth knocked out, arrested a bunch of times, all of that. But that's what happened to Ai Weiwei. So if you watch Never Sorry, you see him going in with the camera like that. What happened to him in China is the same thing that happened to me here. But for both of us, I think it's kind of, it's just part of our learning curve and who we were, and that's what we did, and that's what we did. And, he went on and became like kind of the most famous photographer in the world, and I'm still the guy on the Lower East Side. But that's cool. I love the Lower East Side.
Yeah, man.
Got my Lower East Side tattoo.
Nah, but I mean, the stuff you captured is going to live on forever, though.
Absolutely.
Well, I hope so. It's kind of like the hat. You can actually change the history and other people can knock it off. But going from, kind of the street to the castle, it's still a long ways away.
Right.
People are afraid of it, number one. It's another thing I'm trying to do, which kind of got me blackballed from the art world, got me into a whole thing with Deitch. But LA2 really is the guy that made Keith Haring, because Keith Haring was a graphic artist. Good guy, I admire him. He really made it happen himself. I admire everything about him. but he was a three-eyed TV, a barking dog, and a radiant baby. And when he hooked up with LA2 and filling in all the background, that became art because now it's the picture plane. Now it's a complete work of art. It's no longer just a graphic. And so what happened with that is when you go through the Whitney book, the big Whitney Keith Haring book and the big Deitch book, you have all of these examples in there with LA2's work. And once you learn how to read it, like there's a big green head and it says LA Rock right down the nose. And you realize LA Rock, TNS's crew, sometimes CBS's crew, and LA2. And that's what he does. His drawings are all his art, his tag. And he's all through that book. And I finally got talking to the head curator at the Whitney, but they won't republish the book. They'd say they'd come and buy some of his work. Well, you come and buy some of his work now. He's not at a high level, so you're going to get a good deal. And all of a sudden now he can say he's in the Whitney. That's not enough. Haring is there because of LA2. So I went to tell Deitch this story. And then also at this time, LA got caught up with this thing with steering. LA2 is not a criminal. He doesn't think like a criminal. He's not a criminal. But he went to jail for this thing. And he's just an artist. And so when he was in jail, he married this much older lady. And the much older lady had a son the same age he is. And the son's named Blue Boy. So Blue Boy, one of the most notorious, dangerous criminals in the New York state prison system at that time. When I started telling this to Deitch, because I thought I was helping him out. Because if you look at that book, somebody's going to discover, like there's a picture in there, Fab Five Freddy, a vase, and an unknown woman. And so the credit below the picture is Fab Five Freddy, which is cool, unknown woman, and that's it.
Oh, shit.
The vase, all of it is LA2. Now, what art book wouldn't say that's a Jackson Pollock?
Right.
That's a Roscoe. Every art book does, but not the Whitney or Deitch. And so when I'm telling Deitch this story, and I swear to God, I'm a nice guy. He starts screaming at me, "You're threatening me, you're threatening me." And I'm thinking, whoa, chill, bro, chill. There's, what can I get from threatening you? I mean, what am I going to do? Where's the threat? So anyway, I went through this whole thing of you're threatening me. So that, is not really all that great for the art career. So I paid a price for my activism, but I wouldn't trade it for anything.
Right. I mean, somebody got to stand up.
Well, you got to do what you got to do. You got to do whatever it is that your heart tells you.
Yeah, if you feel it's right, you go for it, you do it.
Yes, if your heart tells you to make art like Danny's doing and all of that, that's enough. That's all he's got to do. He doesn't have to go into my territory because my territory is not his territory. And it's fine. And I'm happier seeing him getting a life and building something for him and his wife, and making something happen. He doesn't need to do what I did. I did because that was me. And so I don't need followers being me. But, and I just...
a lot of people be capitalizing now.
Yeah, I was the president of Tattoo Society in New York in the mid-'80s. A lot of those people that got into the business... got in because of the Tattoo Society. And then I hooked up with Westwood and Catherine Frieder, city council person, and I was one of the 3 people that spearheaded the legalization of tattooing. So that changed people's lives.
Yeah.
So even though some people will tell you I'm a real asshole, I have made contributions that have done positive things. So, I've just been me. But like I say, I hope before I die that I, because, I establish my photographs and my videos. That's a big job. And my legacy, and it's still, I'm still on the outside. Right. And, you pay a price for pushing buttons. So hopefully, some of those buttons will pop back out.
Yeah, they will.
So, we're doing the best we can with what we got. That's the most you can do.
Listen, I'm a firm believer. Everything happens for a reason, and then stuff will work itself out eventually.
Yep. I absolutely agree.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying?
With you 100%.
And the great thing about the inner city is I don't freak these people out.
Nah.
You understand? So it's no freak out. Oh man, who's that guy? Yeah, everything's cool. So I appreciate
Patterson,
that as well.
baby.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's the shit. So it's really been a wonderful place to live. And I'm really fortunate and blessed that I've lived there. And even all those dark times. They tried to hook me up in the Rakowitz murder. That's another long story I won't get into today. But that was the Tompkins Square Park cannibal.
Bro.
The cannibal of Tompkins Square. And so the cops tried to wrap me into that. It's a complicated, long setup to get there. But we were supposed to go to New Hampshire. And this is when, I kind of had some play at that time, New York Times, this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So this is what happens when you're famous. You get invited to New Hampshire. You're supposed to go up there and videotape. And so me and Alice were getting a limo ride up there, a place to stay, everything. And we kind of were talking between us. We say, yo, wow. Elsa says, I'm staying home. So, got to protect the front, right? So I went up there and I get up there. And then that night, I call her, and the cops had come with a warrant to our place. So the whole thing was a setup to get Elsa and I out of town, and we were supposed to go up to New Hampshire. I got stuck with this guy from Oklahoma. All the big shots, like they were after, like Harkins and all these people, all the money guys, they all got to and I got stuck with this guy from Oklahoma, him and his wife. Well, it turned out this guy from Oklahoma was Bill Clinton.
Oh.
So things worked out okay. And then I got called. She said, the cops are here today. I said, with what? They had this whole thing that I did this one special tape. So they had a warrant and a search warrant. So if I'm not home, they can just come in
and do whatever.
Yeah. But Elsa, who's really on the ball, says, oh, okay, yeah, you can come in. I see the warrant. And they said, well, we're looking for this tape. You see, she caught them off guard because it was a surprise and we weren't supposed to be there. So they're kind of like on edge right now. And they know they're bullshitting. So Elsa said, what are you looking for? She said, this tape. She said, I know the tape. So she went and got this tape, which was a Manhattan Neighborhood Network tape that I made of the story of Rakowitz, but there is no tape.
Right.
And so she gave him that tape. 6 hours later, got a call from the DA's office. Wrong tape. Elsa said, the warrant's over. That's it. So I took the bus and came back to New York. But, so I don't know if that life had really freaked me out, it would have been, I would have gone nuts. But we were into it. So what can I say? It was just
the adventure.
So I feel blessed with all that stuff. But I didn't ever get caught out there that deep. Had a few nasty things happen, there's no question.
Yeah.
But it's like playing football, you get knocked around. And so, had a few things happen, but survived it. And, Elsa and I are tight for 50 years. What do you want?
Wow. That's crazy. So we're going to wrap this up real soon. So, Danny.
What's up?
What you working on?
Well,
that you can talk about, because
working on some MLB stuff. Working on very excited for this mass appeal situation. I don't want to say the name.
Did he get it?
They're about it's in the works.
Oh, so he didn't get it yet.
You haven't got it yet.
Okay, cool. Oh.
But everything is finalized. Everything is ready to go.
Okay.
And just continue working, man. Whatever. Working with Clayton, we throwing ideas.
Yeah, definitely.
And just continue to enjoy the success, enjoy the fans. This is number one. And, whatever comes, we're going to attack.
Yeah, knock it out.
Yeah. I'm how you can say
you
that?
Do have
work under pressure.
You do have a couple of orders you need to finish.
Yes.
But that's a whole nother story that they keep on emailing me. So.
Yeah.
And I think Josh wants something too, so you need to talk to him too.
All right, cool. We got you. Oh, that's definitely. Yeah, we're going to make that happen. But yeah, everybody that's waiting for a piece, give me a few.
Hold tight. Hold tight.
I got you.
So Clayton, what you got working on?
Well, I say we're in conversation with this Trevelyan and working with Anthony Pedoni. He's in L.A. putting stuff together. Got my friend Teddy the Greek. He's a big support in my world.
Teddy the Greek.
And, I have people that I'm watching go up, like New York Nico, and certainly Danny and Fridge and Ed and that little crew and Pito is like really solid. And then there's Fred the cook. I always say to Fred, where's my money? Fred, where's my money? So, we got Fred in the mix. And he's got his new restaurant going uptown. And it's just it's an exciting
Andy
time.
Marciano, which is a dope. He's Fred's brother.
Who's that?
Andy Marciano.
There you go.
He's awesome.
So
good artist.
Yeah, I think we're ready, willing, and able, and we're on the move, and we're just going forward, and not looking back, and we'll see where it goes.
Yeah,
But,
so wherever I have a show, the Clayton has a show, and that's how we keep the whole energy flowing. So it's like a
Absolutely.
tour, like the whole crew that goes everywhere.
So we can tag up another refrigerator.
There we go.
yeah, and Danny
we
made.
tagged up the other
Right.
one. That
I
was
mean,
good.
I'm here really because of Danny. Danny made sure I got here because, things I had was sort of going one way and then the other way or whatever. And then Danny came by and hooked the whole thing up, hooked the show up.
Yeah.
So I thank you, Danny, for that.
Yeah.
And
Anytime, brother.
yeah, so here we are, and we're very
And,
excited to be here, and we're going to hope for
is
2 million and
such
one.
Into fashion,
Yeah,
and he
fashion.
loves your story, so we had to make this happen.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? So
definitely.
Yeah. So it'll be some people tuning in.
yes,
That he least
yes,
expected.
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah,
This
we're
is
not into
definitely in
tuning.
the history books of Super Podcast. Let's go, Super P, Pirata. Let's go,
Chavito.
Chavito.
So where can they find you, Danny? If you want them to.
Oh, everything Danny Cortes NYC. TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube. Danny Cortes NYC. Cortez with an S.
That's right, Cortez.
And if you want to purchase anything from Danny, don't contact him.
That's right.
Hit my email.
Polo Pirata.
You know,
Super
he gave me
P
the
Podcast.
he gave me the updated price guide. So if you want something, just hit me up.
There you go.
I'll steer you in the right direction.
Yesterday's price might not be today's
Yeah,
price,
it
but
went up another 200. You know what I'm saying? So I'm sorry.
But
I'm
we
sorry.
work with you.
You know, we try.
we try. We working
So-
hard.
So
Yeah.
Clayton, where can they find you if you want them to
Well,
find you?
I want to say I'm pushing LES Fortunate and Blue Boy with the writing and the movie.
Right.
And yeah, I mean, I got somebody sort of hacked my Facebook, so I don't really have access
Really?
to get on it. But my name is there, and it's still, people go to it. I go to it not somebody does my Instagram, so I have to learn how to do that and
What's
do
the
that.
Instagram handle?
Clayton LES.
Yeah.
So if you look up Clayton
Clayton LES.
Yeah. So
Clayton LES, you can find that. And just look up Clayton Patterson on the internet, and I'm sort of findable.
so if they want to purchase like a hat or something, Clayton, where would they go? Or like who do they need to contact?
Just starting to get that put together now. I'm just, I don't really have a solid right now for that, but hopefully soon will. And yeah, just keep watching.
If anybody
Stay
wants some
tuned.
hats,
Stay tuned.
hit up Polo Pirata.
Stay
Hit
tuned.
me.
Exactly. You can
Anybody,
hit me.
and we'll get it to.
I'll send it to Clayton.
There we go.
Yeah,
Hit my IG. Hit anything. I'll send it to Clayton.
There you go.
we're doing the best we can with what we got.
And we'll figure it out.
We'll figure it out.
We're a
know.
unit.
Yep.
So thank you guys for coming.
Well, thank you.
That's
It's been a
right.
real pleasure. It's been a lot of fun.
Come on, baby.
Yeah.
You know, obrigado. The
My
Super
Brazilian
Podcast,
brother right here.
The Super Podcast on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, everywhere. It's everywhere. If you
Everywhere.
pay $5 on the Patreon, you will get this episode today. If not, you have to wait. Anyway,
Are you serious?
Subscribe.
Yeah.
People
Patreon.
can get this today?
yeah.
Yeah.
Josh is amazing, bro.
Wow.
He's amazing.
Really?
The video
worker.
the
Good
video
today.
will be out in October,
That's for the Patreon, though.
but
There's like a
for
certain
Patreon,
People that
like
VIPs.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, I got a few people I'd like to send this to.
yeah. Oh, don't worry, I'll send you the link.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're familiar. So
Yeah.
yeah. I'm gonna end this off. Thank you guys for coming.
Well, thank you. It's been a real pleasure. Thank you, Danny,
And
for
shout
getting
out
me
to
here.
the Brooklyn podcasting
Yeah.
crew. You know,
We're in
Shout out to
Brooklyn.
Josh.
Josh
That's the guy.
in the building.
He's,
My brother.
he's amazing.
Yeah.
Always takes care of me. So
That's right.
Wow, that's
I
good.
gotta give him his props.
Well, he took care of us, that's for sure.
Absolutely.
Definitely a professional setup.
So we're out of here. Ciao, Sufi Podcast. We're out.
Boom.
All right.